The storm is passing over. Everything is not going to be predictable in our lives. The storm is passing over. I was stuck on a hill and there were cars sliding down the hill in my direction that it could have easily hit me. The storm is passing over. Come back to this experience and be able to reflect on how you are better as a result of it. Hallelujah. Inspire me to be the highest me, mommy motivation. Hello friends, I'm so glad that you're here with me again today. For those of you that are new, I'm Z. I share lessons in faith, family, and fulfillment, hoping that by sharing my lessons, it'll help you to embrace your own. It is a day where it's been a bit rainy, and I have been just thinking about what message I wanted to get across today in our Monday motivation. And what kept coming to me was, what are we doing to hold on to our peace, to maintain ourselves in an hour where human nature is, if we get into anything for too long, we become a bit anxious, a bit antsy, or want to get out sooner than maybe we're supposed to. And so I was thinking about the fact that I've been in this house, and you've probably been in yours, and have not really been able to do the things that I normally do on my day-to-day, but that there is still areas that I've had to really cling to make sure that I maintain my peace, and that I allow myself to experience the moment that is happening without becoming overwhelmed and consumed by the moment, because it can get crazy being in the house all day with folk. You know, you get to see your true colors coming out after any form of consistent isolation. And I can understand why we're told to fellowship together with one another, because the connectivity that we have with other people is so vital and so important. And so in a time when we can't connect in those ways, it's like, what do you do? How do you ensure that you're still able to thrive in your own spirit and in your own mind, and not become isolated in your own thoughts to a point that it causes you to believe that you're alone? And that's a really real feeling, because you can be in the midst of people and still feel alone. I know I have been there before. And so I am wanting to share some ways that I've been able to hold on to my peace in the midst of everything that we are experiencing. And I want to be very clear that peace is not the absence of being in a chaotic place, or being upset, even having frustration or anger, or any of those things. Those things are very real, and it's important to acknowledge where we are. But it does say that in the midst of all those things, I can still know that there is going to be victory, because I am holding fast to the fact that I am secure and trusting that God is with me through it. You know, I can remember being stuck in an ice storm some years back when I was teaching in the classroom, and I was 7 months pregnant, and I was trying to drive home in this ice storm, and I was stuck on a hill, and there were cars sliding down the hill in my direction that it could have easily hit me. And I can remember feeling like stuck. You know, like, what am I going to do? And trying to rev up the car, but be careful not to slide down the hill myself. And had been in communication with my husband, who was also trying to get his car to be functioning, to get to me. And just at this place where it felt like there was so much craziness going on. And I can remember, you know, seeing other people in the same situation, and us not being able to get to each other because everybody was somewhat stuck on this hill. And so I kind of had to get out of the car and just believe that somehow somebody was going to be able to drive by. And it turns out a coworker of mine was in the area trying to get home as well, and drove by me and was able to help get me to a location so that I could meet up with my husband. But I remember leaving my car and thinking, you know, somebody could hit that car, because like literally cars were sliding down the hill, and coming back a couple of days later to find that someone did hit that car. But in the midst of seeing that my car had been hit and damaged, I was at peace in knowing that I was okay, and that my baby was okay, my child within me was okay, and that my family was okay. And so it's interesting. I came back a couple of days to that car, and I went into the glove compartment, and there was a note from the man that hit me with all of his information. And I remember that he wrote, that God is with us, and there was some message of hope that he wanted to leave in the midst of having hit my car. And so it just puts me in a place of remembering that not everything is not going to be predictable in our lives, but there is assurance in being able to hold on to our peace and being assured that it is going to pass. The storm will pass over, and we know not the day or the time, so we must be able to find ways to maintain. And so these are some of the things that I've been doing to make sure that I maintain that self-care. Self-care is really global responsibility. It is our ability to acknowledge that we are valued enough to be of value to the community around us. And one of those things that I've been doing, which is something completely new for me, is being able to exercise. For the past 3 or so weeks, I have been exercising daily, sometimes with my family, sometimes with just my husband, as a way of staying active, as a way of keeping my mind busy, and as a way of course, dealing with health and wellness. I have wanted to create a schedule where I could exercise just for self-care purposes. And so to be able to have the time to do that, and to have my husband home to be able to do that with, has been such a relief for us. And another thing, it's funny because you can see me all made up and makeup, and you can be inside and think, okay, why would I put on makeup? But that's one of those things that I would do if I were going out. Now let's be clear, when I'm in the house, I am the pajama bonnet all day girl, if you let me. But there are some days that I'm gonna go for a walk, and I'll throw on a full face, and I'll put on some some eyeliner and some makeup, not for anybody else, but just to feel a sense of normalcy for my day-to-day routine. So that's something that has helped, is doing some things that have been a part of my behavior if we weren't quarantined, and maintaining those things once in a while. Every day I'm not doing it, but once in a while, just to get that flow back of what it felt like to be in my day-to-day. Some other things I'm doing that I think is great is taking up a new skill, a new activity, a new art. There's so many things online that you can do, even via YouTube. And one of those that I've done is drawing. Now, I am that stick figure chick. Like, I have had the hardest time in art class all through the years, but I am super proud of my cat, y'all. And let me put this pillow down so I can show you. This was just an online tutorial that I'm going to start doing every week, and I will link her name in the description box. But she just walks you through being able to draw along with her all different characters and animals. And I don't know, but it has brought me this sense of calm, and I've been doing it with my son, and my daughter did it with me as well, as a way to just have some sort of activity that we do where we're learning about something. And for me, it's just been cool to feel like I can do something that I've kind of felt insecure about most of my life, which is drawing. And so taking up a skill, doing something that you have not done before, to me that helps to just keep the brain active and working, and to bring in some new skill that you can then say that you've accomplished. There's something about the sense of accomplishment on any level that helps us in our minds, and helps us to believe that we are creating and doing something that is of worth. We are people that really need to feel like there's value in what we do, and so it's hard sometimes to find the value in being home all day. But that has been one of the things. I've also kind of taken to doing these crossword puzzles. My family, my husband and I have been battling. We'll set the timer, and the kids have joined along too, and see how many words we can find. And this was just something you got from like the dollar store or something, as another way to keep the mind going and active. And one of the other things that came to mind even as I was talking to you is something that is going to allow you to unwind, particularly if you're an introvert, because those can be moments that can feel like you can't isolate because everybody is there. And so having those moments, I took a bath at 1 o'clock in the morning the other day, simply because I needed to be able to have a moment of relief without anybody, and so even though it was 1 in the morning, I committed to giving myself that time. Anybody else a bath person? Like, I prefer that, but just having that time for myself to just hear my own thoughts and be able to relax. And so those are some things that I've been doing. Would love to hear what you all have been doing. And the main thing is, no matter what you're doing, to just continue to know that in this, what we do as we wait really matters, because it helps the time to go. So in our time of studying or getting closer to God or meditating on His Word and the things that we do to stay active and keep our brains active, to be healthy, whatever it may look like for you, it's important to be able to come back to this experience and be able to reflect on how you are better as a result of it. Because if we reflect on everything that is happening, we can get stuck in a place of simply feeling overwhelmed, of being consumed by media and our thoughts and the things that are going on, and not have a place to see where there is victory in the midst of going through something. So I just want to say that this storm shall pass, and I hope that you'll be encouraged to know that the things that you have the time to do, that we often complain that we don't have the time to do, we have the capacity to do now. But our minds have to be at a place of believing that all things are working together for our good, and that there is peace. There's a scripture that comes to mind about the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face to shine upon you and be gracious. I just love to hear if you leave me a comment below. Let me know, what is that for you, and what are some things that you do to hold on to your peace and to have self-care at a time when it is most needed, and we have the time and the ability to do so. So mamas, I hope that you are encouraged. I thank you for watching, and you guys have a blessed
Mommy motivation.